Retro Rob's gaming videos.
Hey, Rob here, and I'm going to demonstrate why you shouldn't cross-light. Ugh. Ugh. It's like I got a stripe on my face. Plus, it looks really weird. I mean, I look weird anyway, but still. All right. What we're really here to talk about is the Nvidia Shield TV, which I've had for a couple weeks now. I did an unboxing video earlier, and now I'm going to talk about just general operation and my thoughts about the device. I think very highly of it. It has indeed replaced my Roku. But there are things you need to know before you buy this. For those of you who don't know, the Nvidia Shield TV is basically a consoleized, I can't say the word, consoleized Android device. Yeah, I know, you're thinking Ouya, right? Some of you guys are. Anyway, but this is like what the dream of Ouya would have been. This is both a media streaming device that basically will replace your Roku, but it's also a gaming device. I don't know if it would ever replace like my Xbox One, but it's quite a competent gaming device. I'll talk about that later. So I'm going to break this up into two sections. I mean, it's not going to be two videos, but the beginning here, I'm going to talk specifically about streaming and video. As far as how I feel about streaming, the best experience, in my opinion, is to be had with this particular controller. This is the remote control. You, of course, do get this controller with it. It works fine. I think you 20-somethings are going to have way less trouble, just you're probably going to need this less than people who are over the age of, say, 40, which I am. So you guys can ignore that, but for you guys who are a little bit older, this is a really great remote to make you feel like more at home with it as a media device. Some things that I really like about it are the fact that it's made out of metal. It does have a voice search function. I will tell you that I don't use it very often. Even though I am a regular Echo user, I don't think it's not as good. It's not terrible or anything. I'm sure if you're really dead set on using your voice to command it, you're going to have a good time. What I found is that the interface was a little bit uneven for me for using it as a voice device. So I basically just, search with the controller all the time now by just, typing in what I'm looking for, unless I'm really lazy. Another thing I really liked about this is the volume control here. Notice how it controls the volume up and down. That is for the device itself. And that would not be a big deal, except sometimes the volume's a little bit higher than other devices in your audio-video rack. And this can make it so that it either matches. It's also a great lazy way to up the volume or down the volume without another controller. Anybody who owns a Wii really knows what I'm talking about. Having this volume control is a big deal. One thing that I have heard, I haven't tested this, is that the volume up and down don't work from the controller. But, yeah, it does. Right there. We'll test it. Sure enough, it does work. Okay. Streaming selections. I like how fast the menu is. I'm going to mention that right away. Look at how it just tears through there. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal either, but if you used an older Roku or some of those built-in devices into the TVs, they're really slow. It's annoying. This thing is fast. It's responsive. I really like that. The other thing I really like is the fact that it has applets a lot like the Roku does, which, again, isn't that big of a deal, but you have like the HGTV app, which shows Home and Garden TV, and you've got the PBS app, and you've got Crackle, a lot of those other apps. Yeah, I'll be coming back to Amazon. And it works really well. And there's a Netflix app. Another thing that I really like, which is another nice touch, is notice how this is an HGTV app advertisement for one of their shows. Once you install the app, it starts displaying stuff up here in this top row, which is pretty. Ooh, what have I been watching? Which is pretty cool. I like that. Pretty neat ability. Well, I don't know if it's an ability, but it's an advertising thing, and it works really well. I like that. Classy. I also like, you notice, sometimes it has a little background for it, which looks pretty good too. I like that. We'll be coming back to this guy too. Yeah, so that works pretty well. As I mentioned, I think that this is one of the better streaming devices out there, if not absolutely the best. I'm probably going to get it for not saying that. It probably is the best out there. The only negative is if you are an Amazon user, there's no app for that. Some people I know in the comments are going to scream, "Oh, you can sideload the app." It doesn't work as of recently. Who knows? It might work again when you're watching this, or they might have added it. But right now, due to a big old war between Amazon and Google, it is not available for use on the Shield store or on the Google Play Store. So it's just not there. Yeah, there are ways to use it with a keyboard and mouse. Why the heck would you do that? This is that's annoying. That's just not a way to do it. Amazon needs to grow up. And yes, I've heard in the forums people say that it isn't Amazon's fault. Yes, it is. They have it for other devices. They are the people that produce the app, and they publish it on Google's Play Store. Google does not make the app for Amazon, okay? This is Amazon's thing, okay? They are purposely not releasing it due to the fact that they do not want Android people, well, I'm sorry, other than their platforms, Android people getting their videos and using their platform, which is a big pain in the butt, except for Sony, which is they pay licensing, and that's a totally different thing. And I'm not going to get too deep into it, but nonetheless, you do not have Amazon Prime on here, not built in. However, what you can do is you can take your Google Chrome browser and you can go on to Amazon, and I'm not going to use Amazon as the example, but you can use the casting option from Google, from Google to cast it to the Shield. And if you look right now, I'm on Bitdefender's site, and you can see right here that Bitdefender's site shows up in the background. You can do that with a video too. It's also smart enough to know that there's a video in there, like on Amazon, and it will go and display that video full screen. Looks really great, works really well. Again, it's unfortunate that I've got to stream it from my PC to it, but that's a way better solution than hacking a keyboard and a mouse onto your Nvidia Shield Portable to get it to watch Amazon. I don't really get that. Anyway, all right. I'm sure somebody has a good reason for it, fine. And if you got a great reason, feel free to tell me in the comments. I'm sure you will. All right, let me undo this. Back, stop casting. There we go. If anybody wants a video on how to do that, because you do have to get some plugins, let me know. I'll do a video on that. It's not too bad. So anything else? All in all, as I said at the beginning, this has replaced my Roku. I have found it stutters less, and I didn't get much stuttering, honestly, recently in the Roku. I did early on. But I found that I think video quality is consistently better on this than on my old Roku. Now, I was using an old Roku 3, which is pretty old, but it wasn't a current generation one. But I do find that the quality seems to be a bit better on this. So all in all, it's a definite thumbs up for doing streaming video if you could live with the limitations of not having an Amazon app built into it and having to stream over to it. All right, I'm going to be right back. We're going to talk about gaming right after this. All right, so we're going to talk about gaming on the Nvidia Shield TV, and I'm going to start here with a quick glossing over of the streaming functions. There is Game Stream. This is my gaming laptop, which I keep over here. Some notes, you're going to need an Nvidia video card to make this work. It works fairly well. I have only played Fallout 4 on it, but no stuttering, no peanut buttering. It's been really, really solid, except for one time when we accidentally rebooted the router, which, it's going to happen. That said, I did pick this up. That said, remember, you, of course, have to have your computer on and operating to do this. It's nice if you want to just kick back on the couch and play something and not have to plug in your monitor directly. Generally, if you're a hardcore gamer, you should probably, well, at least if you're playing something competitive, you should probably plug it directly in. But if you're just casually playing a game, and any of these will work really quite well in it, works great. Not my biggest feature, except for, like I said, I play Fallout 4 on it fairly regularly. There is GeForce now. GeForce was like an 80s cartoon from Japan. And whenever I see GeForce, that's all I think about. Really weird. Anyway, some of you guys probably know that, right? This is their subscription-based gaming system. I've used it on the handheld, and it worked really, really great. I mean, it was incredible. I was amazed at how well it worked. I haven't tested it out on this. It is a paid service, and I will not pay. Not as much as they're asking anyway. If they came up with a yearly subscription for like $50, I might try it out just to save some time. But all this stuff's available on your computer, so if you do have GameStream, you basically got the same function. The only difference is, of course, that GeForce Now will work from anywhere. But you're in your living room, so not such a big deal. But if you're subscribed to it on your home device, on your on your Nvidia Shield handheld, you're subscribed to it here. So what the heck? Use it. Netflix already mentioned. As far as gaming goes in and of itself, I've said before that I love this gamepad. It's really great. However, one thing that I never noticed on the tablet that I really miss here is rumble function. This has no rumble, so you never feel it shake. It's kind of strange playing like games that I really enjoy and not feeling that feedback. And I'm old enough to know what real force feedback is, and I realize that the rumble function isn't real force. Well, it is, but you know what I mean. It's a dumbed down force feedback experience, but I still miss it when it's not there. So that's something to note, that there is no rumble function on here. And of course, the games would have to support it anyway. So, you're kind of SOL on that type of thing. Other things. Note that this is a limited subset of games that you can play. You can't play every Android game on here, or necessarily every game that you have on your Nvidia Shield tablet or portable. Some of them just are not available for download. I'm going to mention a couple actually. The main one that really has me kind of bummed is Shadowgun, which is one of my favorite games to play on every platform. I play it all the time, just obsessively. I highly recommend it. It's free. So it costs you nothing to try it out. Try that game out. It's really fun. It's by Madfinger Games. But anyway, one of my favorite games. This is the only platform I can't play it on. Seriously, my Mac even plays it. So, yeah, that was kind of a letdown. The other one I was surprised not to see on there was Horizon Chase. And I'm probably going to do a video on that one because I don't know how many of you have heard of it. But it's kind of a remix of Outrun with some modernized graphics, but they look retro. It's hard to explain the art style that they went with on this, but really neat game, really controls well, really sad it's not here. That said, Doom 3 is a blast on this. It looks really good. It plays really smooth. It's just the controls are great. I wish I could say the same for that Gameloft game. Darn it. That was really helpful because there's other Gameloft games in here. Modern Combat. I didn't really like playing Modern Combat 5 on this. Gameloft needs to tweak in their controls a little bit better. I think that Madfinger has it down and Gameloft is kind of playing catch up. They definitely have game mechanics down, but the basic controls of controlling with a gamepad, Game Loft, is still left wanting. And I know I gave a good review of Modern Combat 4 way back when, but playing it now with some of the more modern games that I've played, it's just not the same. That said, Asphalt is really quite good on this. It's an experience to play. Yeah, it's a fun game. It's it's solid. You'd like it on your PC probably. It wouldn't be like the most awesome racer ever, but it is quite a great racer, and it's free. As I said, Doom 3 is an experience. Killing Floor Calamity certainly deserves more attention than it gets. You can't see it. Deserves more attention than it gets. Goat Simulator, wife loves that. Like, loves to watch it. Luft Rousers is just way better on a big screen. It is so much fun on a big screen, so well worth it. I'm not going to go through every game, but the most important thing to note is that just because you have it on your Nvidia Shield tablet or portable does not mean it's here. Note that what's not here is any emulators. You can run emulators on it. You do not need to do anything tricky with it. You can just pop out the memory card and put your ROMs on there. I just don't do it on this because I've got a whole lot of retro systems, and there's really no reason for me to be emulating it on this particular machine. But yes, most of the emulators are available. Yes, they all work really quite well. I've played with a couple of them and then just removed them because I'm not going to use them, but just enough to confirm that it does work. Okay, I'm going to close out with a quick walk through the store system because it's confusing, convoluted, and quite frankly a mess, as I think most of you Android users already know. All right, so if you want to go look at what apps you actually own, don't necessarily go to the Play Store. You can go to Google Play Games, you can go to My Games, and it will show you things that are installed on the device. I can't remember. I think I mentioned earlier, I'm recording this a little bit later, that Horizon Chase wasn't available. That is absolutely true, even though it's showing up here. It's showing because it's a game that I have. Notice how it says non-TV. That means it won't work on the TV. Really sad about that. Horizon Chase people, get on that. I love this game. So you can see non-TV, but then you can see what's installed. I don't have that game. Oh yeah, maybe I do. And you can go through all your games that you have and see, I've got this there. I was looking for something I had purchased. So I purchased this, I own this, but I don't have it installed yet. So you could just say, oh yeah, I do own that. I bought it a while back, and now you can install it by just clicking install. So not too bad. Looks like this is available now. That wasn't earlier. Again, a lot of non-TV stuff because obviously I own some of the other items. And this is what I'm talking about when I say, a lot of stuff doesn't work. But you'll be surprised sometimes that something you didn't see in the store does work. So there's that. All right. So that is the Google Play. It's got this fine TV games section. It kind of sucks. I have a hard time finding anything. Players, these are your friends. Inbox, don't worry about that. That's just mail. And it's usually just advertising and junk. Okay, so generally to actually look for games, you're either going to go into Nvidia Shield Store or this one. I'll show you the Nvidia Shield one for a second in a minute, but I'm going to go in the Google Play Store. Here you can find... Now notice something different between this and the other My Apps. This one only shows ones that are available and installed on this system, as opposed to the other one, which was the Games app, which actually showed all the apps that I had available. All right, so here we go. You can obviously look by genre and scroll through. And there are, believe it or not, a whole lot of games for this thing. It's just not always the game you're looking for. And keep going. And as you can see, there's plenty, and then you can go down to the bottom and break it up by that. And let's go back, and then finally, there's the Shield game section. That's the third place you can go hunting for games, if you counted the first. And before they had, yeah, there it is, the holiday sale section, which is available right this second. If you're watching this in the future, it might not be, but it'll show you what's on sale. Top paid, all the stuff that you're really used to seeing in the Nvidia Shield store. And it works pretty well. No issues. Download speeds are fairly decent depending on your internet connection, obviously, but I don't have any of the nightmares like I used to have with the Xbox One at first, where it was taking like hours and hours and hours to download something. I've never had a game take very long to download on this. Not just because they're smaller, but because the network appears to be less jammed up. All right, so that is it. That is the store. All in all, I'm really happy with my purchase. I'm glad I got it on sale, honestly. I only paid about $150, I think, for this. $150, $160, and that's with the extra controller. If you are older, I would highly recommend picking up one of these controllers. Yes, they're expensive, but they're very well built. Again, as a replacement for the Roku, works fine as well as as long as you are willing to deal without Amazon, or at least have another way of getting Amazon onto the device. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Bye.
Retro Rocks Gaming Videos.